Hi everyone, how's it going? I don't know if you guys saw my Facebook status, but I was basically watching some stuff on my laptop. I don't know, I was watching a reaction or something. And all of a sudden I heard one of the neighborhood kids saying, "You're the one who was ranting about period blood." They definitely weren't talking to me because I don't think that I was supposed to hear that. I heard like the older kids say, probably to the younger kid, "You were the one ranting about period blood." Before I get into everything that I'm about to get into, I have to admit I did foresee this coming like a couple of weeks before. I had a dream about it. That's all I'll say. I had a dream about it because it was something to do with spying. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but it was something to do with spying, and it was something to do with, oh, what are you doing in your flat? What are you doing in your flat? So I had a dream about this like a couple of weeks before. So they were always going to do this. They've always been spying on my privacy. They've always been trying to find out exactly what I'm doing when I'm trying to be as quiet as possible and I don't want them to hear my private business. So they've always been doing that, right? It never occurred to me that they would go around telling anybody else in the village that I've been using period blood for spells. I think that's what they've done. I think that's what they've actually done. I think what they've done is they've gone around telling their other relatives, at least, that I've been using my own uterine blood for my spells. That's what I believe has happened. These are the same kids that, or these are the same, this is the same family that believe that I've been cursing them. Let's put this all together. So this is the same family who have been calling the ambulance on me, trying to say that my mental health is worsened every time I do a spell, right? So that's the first thing. This is also the same family that have been playing into this paranoid schizophrenic diagnosis that has been wrongly attached to me. So those are two things that we have to consider. Third, this is the same family that have lied about me before and have spread rumors to other people around the village, leading to everybody else in the village not knowing how to take me because I don't fraternize with anybody here. And putting all of this together, I think, because the thing is, I'm one of those people, I give the perps the benefit of the doubt of being intelligent. I'm thinking nobody would be that stupid to say certain things openly. But every single time I think nobody could be that stupid, that family proves me wrong. So this is what I believe has happened. I believe the family was spying on me. They put two and two together, came up with 16, and said that I was using period blood in my rituals. They've also been talking about the type of spells that I've been doing. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, it's mostly white stuff. Okay? It's mostly the type of stuff that's more revolved around helping people and healing people and doing good things for people. Like, there's nothing baneful or anything like that in the rituals that I've been doing. I've got to hold my hands up right now. There's nothing baneful in anything that I've been doing. And, so I'm thinking, on the one hand, you're saying that I'm putting curses on you, and then another hand, you're saying that I'm using blood magic and I'm using blood magic from my womb. And on top of that, you know what type of magic I've been doing. I'm not going to say it on camera because I don't like to talk about my shit, but you've heard me because I'm the type of person, when I'm passionate, I can't control the volume of my voice. So you know exactly what I've been doing down here, and then you've attached blood magic to it. There's so much to unpack. There is so much to unpack. And when I put this video up on YouTube, what I'm going to do is I'm going to compartmentalize it into certain categories. the first category that I want to bring up. Okay, so the original accusation against me was that I was cursing the family. Now you have attached blood magic to that. So let's explore that option right there. So you've been saying that I've been putting curses on you, but anybody who knows how magic works, right? When you use your own blood for a spell, you are binding yourself not only to the outcome of the spell, but whoever the baneful spell is directed at. So it's like, that's why a lot of people don't use their own blood in curse work, because they don't want to be attached to the other person. They might use the other person's blood to bind them, but they're not going to use their own blood to bind them to the other person. So why in the hell would I use my own blood from my own uterus, from my own bloodline, from my own heritage to curse some idiot dickhead family that can't keep the N-word out of their mouths? I don't want to be attached to you for the rest of my life. I could even be attached to you long afterwards if I was going to do something like that. I would never use blood magic to curse you. First of all, cursing you in the first place is redundant, because you're the type of family who will use your pain to justify doing fucked up things anyway. So causing you more pain on top of that doesn't help. Nothing helps. So the only thing that helps is to just completely mind their business and ignore you, and everybody knows you don't like that. So for me to attach my DNA to something that is relentlessly hateful, relentlessly obsessive on its own, can you imagine anybody having the shocking lack of ethics and having the shocking lack of morals to attach their uterine blood to a family and to a young family? Imagine the lack of ethics that would have to go into that. And then on top of that, you have to remember, when you're performing blood magic, or even if you just use incense, or you use certain music, what you're doing is you're actually taking the spirits that are around you and you're bringing them closer to having corporeal bodies. That's what you're doing. A lot of people don't realize they're doing that, but that's exactly what you're doing. When you even, like, let's just leave the blood out of it. When you work with incense, when you work with anything to do with strong and pleasant scents, anything like that, you are giving corporeal form to the spiritual entities that will perform the spell for you. I made a video distinctly warning people about this. I said, imagine the type of human, because the thing is, a lot of the people that are helping us with our spell work, they're not just disembodied souls or astral entities that we've created. They are also beings from other dimensions, and they are also beings from our own lives. They could be our ancestors. They could be people of the past that have long gone, that have been assigned to help us with whatever it is that we need. When we even have strong perfume or strong, we are giving them near corporeal power. We're strengthening their power by giving them that scent and giving them that. So this is why I warned against blood magic, because I said, imagine what type of person in their daily life would be attached to blood. Imagine what type of person, what type of astral entity would be attracted to blood. What kind of person would they be if they were human? What kind of person would they be if they were human? You really got to think about this. This is blood from your sexual organ. So what kind of beings would I attract to me? What kind of beings would I attract to me that would be even remotely interested in the scent of blood? And you're going around telling people that I would do that just to curse a couple of idiot children who can't stop saying the N-word, or curse an idiot family who are all mouth most of the time. Not even most of the time. That family is a bunch of cowards. They're all mouth. They lie like they breathe. And they shoot themselves in the foot repeatedly because they're fucking desperate. Why am I going to waste my blood and my DNA and my essence on that? So that's A. And in the first place, there are a lot of very seasoned, very seasoned practitioners who do use blood and do use blood sacrifice, but it's for very specific reasons. It's usually for religious reasons. And it's something that they're usually very careful with. It's not a fucking game. So that's the first part of this whole thing. You originally went around telling everybody that I was cursing you. Now you want to tell everybody that I'm using blood magic to do it. Me, a damn near 40-year-old woman, is going to use blood magic, attach my DNA to the rest of my life to a child who doesn't even know themselves yet. That's what this child is going around saying. That's what these children are going around saying. What the fuck are these parents teaching these children? What the fuck are these parents teaching these children? And even when I deny what's going on, even when I deny something openly, they're going to turn around and say, well, that's an admission. No, bitch. So that's the first thing. That's the first thing to consider when it comes to a rumor like this. The second thing to consider is, all right, let's go back to the paranoid schizophrenia diagnosis. You've told everybody around this village that I'm crazy. You've told everybody around this village that I'm obsessed with you. And yet in the same breath, you have spilled the beans about some of the inward details about my rituals to other members of your family. I heard one of those crotch nuggets that are your cousins. I've heard those crotch nuggets say basically that what you were saying to them, what I was doing was good. So basically you're turning around saying that I'm using my DNA to perform good works, to help other people and to help, to help other people and to heal other people. So you're basically turning around and saying I'm using my uterine DNA for that. So in the first place, you can't even stick to your story. The second thing is that attach that to the paranoid schizophrenic stuff for just a minute. Attach that to the mad stuff for just a minute. If you heard somebody was paranoid schizophrenic and you truly believed it, as an adult, as a child, whatever, if you heard somebody was paranoid schizophrenic, you've seen this person break down emotionally and you believe that this person is genuinely crazy, okay? And you've just heard that they're using their own blood to help people or to heal people or to heal themselves. If you found that out, what would be the first thing going through your mind? The first thing that would be going through your mind is not that this person's evil, not that this person is, somebody to be scared of. You think, wow, this person's really going through it. The picture that can be painted of somebody like that is a tragic figure. Not even worthy of ridicule, but worthy of pity. Was that the fucking objective to this? Was that the fucking objective to going around telling the whole village about my fucking vagina? Was that what you were trying to convey? So that's the second thing. That's the second thing about this thing. The third thing about this is, if you're lying, then that just demonstrates to me that there are no limits to the lengths you will go to try to make yourself look good or to try to make yourself look like the victim, even when there is nothing going on and nobody's bothering you. So the thing is, if you're lying, it means you're desperate and it means you're evil and it means you're using the paranoid schizophrenic diagnosis and you're trying to weaponize that against them in order to make them look dangerous. That's if you're lying. If you're telling the truth, that's the third thing. The fourth thing is, if you're telling the truth and you know exactly what I've been doing, and you know exactly the type of spells that I've been doing in here, or the type of rituals I've been doing in here, what you have essentially done is you've tried to take a situation in which somebody was helping and healing somebody or healing other people from their own body. You wanted to take that situation and try to spin it into something evil and tawdry and horrible. So in either situation, whether or not you're lying or telling the truth, you still make yourself look like the evil, desperate people you actually are. And then we have to consider number 5. What does anybody's period blood have to do with you? I've talked about my period blood in relation to Havana syndrome, because that's a genuine health issue. If you're being attacked with directed energy weapons unlawfully, and you're also being bombarded with non-ionized radiation, as almost every single human being on the planet is, then these things are important to know, because it goes into radiation poisoning and organ damage, deliberately caused organ damage. So these things are important to talk about. And then how the fuck do you get, like, how the fuck do you compute, like, and then on top of that, you've also seen from my videos, and you clearly seen my videos, that I've been talking about blood magic anyway, and warning people away from it, and talking about how dangerous it is. So you've clearly heard me, you've clearly been on my social media, and you have been just like, not only have you been on my social media, but other people have been on my social media as well, and you've tried to spin it as if you're the innocent ones in the equation. When I had that suspicion, I didn't know how to handle it at first. I was like, let me just ruminate on this and just like take my mind off it for a bit. But now I realize period blood and magic, it's a common thing that is talked about all the time in New Age circles anyway. And there are people who still do it regardless. So that's A. B, what people are saying about what I do with my menstrual, God, I don't even want to, it's got nothing to do with anyone else, regardless of regardless of whether it's a lie or whether it's the truth. It's got nothing to do with anyone else. It's private, especially if I haven't been shouting at the top of my lungs, which I haven't, about what my body is doing when it's menstruating. Sometimes I'll be like, oh shit, oh my God, or sometimes I'll be talking to other people and being like, you know what, like my uterus is just bothering me right now. I can't handle this. Apart from those little things, I'm not going to be shouting about what my uterus is doing anyway. So again, regardless of whether it's a lie or whether it's the truth, you've basically violated somebody's privacy, or tried to violate somebody's privacy again, put a fake news spin on it, and tried to paint me as more evil than I am. And again, yeah, the mother has been talking about, oh, you're evil. And then the child's talking about you're a liar. That's because they're evil and they're liars. They're desperate. From time you're talking about your neighbor's period blood, you are desperate. You are desperate. And like I said, I don't know for sure. But given what I heard this evening, now I'm putting it together. That is evil and that is desperate. I have listed about like 4 or 5 explanations as to why I have nothing to be ashamed of and they have everything to be ashamed of. Again, whether it's a lie or whether it's the truth, it's nobody's fucking business. It's nobody's fucking business. But either way, I realize I'm not the one with shit to be ashamed of. They are, as usual. That's why they didn't want me finding out. That's why they didn't want me hearing about this. They didn't want me knowing about this because they knew they went too far. Why are you talking about your neighbor's menses? Unless it's to talk about Havana syndrome and the effects of Havana syndrome, and unless it's to reference my video talking about Havana syndrome and its effect on women's menses. Why are you even talking about this shit? Why are you even talking about this shit? That's what I don't get. I don't get this. So, yeah, that's what I believe has been happening. And again, I ain't got shit to be ashamed of. I wanted to wait until I knew for sure what was going on. Everything that I've said today is based on my own assumptions, given, about that little snippet that I heard earlier. That was based on pure assumption, based on that little snippet that I heard earlier. But once again, I don't put nothing past this family, because they weaponize their idiocy to get out of everything. They weaponize their idiocy to get out of everything. So I have no doubt in my mind they said that shit. But again, I wanted to wait, because if I'm wrong, then the repercussions aren't worth it. There's going to be repercussions if I'm right. There's going to be repercussions if I'm right, but they'll be every inch worth it. Worth it. If I'm right, it's fucking worth it. All of it. It just doesn't look good. It just doesn't look good. And for the record, the dream, I dreamt that I was lying here in my front room, and I dreamt that my front door was open and that the family were coming in, and they were walking in, like right there on my doorway. It's like they were walking in, and it was the mother and the two kids, and they were saying, this was in the dream, this wasn't in real life, by the way. In the dream, they were saying, what were you doing in your bathroom? This family had been spying on me. This family had been spying on my bathroom visits, trying to put two and two together and coming up with 16, so that they can try to make me look as mad as possible. Because that's what they do. That's what perps do. I don't even think this is personal. I think they're doing this because if they don't get a rise out of me, then the case against me is a bust, isn't it? This case that I should never have been on is a bust. So yeah, that's what I believe has been going on. I'm going to list everything. I'm going to put it on my YouTube, and I'm going to list everything in sections. It's not going to be easy for me to, well, it is going to be easy. I'm just fucking lazy. I'm going to list everything in sections, and then you'll see why. Like, in this case, I never thought I would say this, but in this case, the truth about what's going on with me doesn't matter. The truth about what's going on with them matters. They've taken something that is actually fairly common, and they've taken something that's fairly common, and they've put a fake news spin on it in a bid to make themselves look good. Because they were desperate. Because they're always fucking desperate. And I'm thinking, coming back to one of the points that I made earlier, how do you turn around, say that somebody is using blood magic to help people, and then you get evil out of that? I'm confused. I'm confused, bro. I'm at a loss here. I don't know what's going on. But apparently anything goes. Just throw shit at the wall and see what sticks. I'm out. They can say whatever the fuck they want at this point. But at this point, the village are revealing themselves, and this family are revealing themselves, because what the fuck? If I knew somebody was, harassing somebody for a year and a half almost, and on top of that, they're spying on the neighbor's bathroom use for a year and a half, and talking about their period, I wouldn't even say hi. I'd want nothing to do with that person. But this village reveals itself. The racism, the ableism, it reveals itself. And gang stalking reveals itself because every opportunity they can use to use bigotry in order to make a statement. And on top of that, the fucking satanic panic coming into this. It just goes to show that if they don't like you and they don't like the color of your skin, or they don't like your attitude or what have you, they're willing to believe anything in order to validate what they've done. And the irony is that these same people who are willing to believe all these awful things about me, or, you know, or even willing to believe things about me that don't make a lick of fucking sense, they don't even seem to be aware that they're the ones working for the closest thing one can get to Satan. They don't even realize that they're his agents, not me. Witches have been fighting against the forces of darkness for the longest time. Just like Christianity can have good and evil people, the world of witches and the world of heathens and pagans and all these people, they have good and evil. But like, nah, dealing with racism, satanic panic, ableism, come on now. Nah, man. No, I don't care. This family's evil and desperate. I don't care anymore. And anybody who associates with them, anybody willing to believe their lies and shit, they're evil and desperate too. I ain't got time. I do not have the fucking time. And that you think just because you cry, and just because you can shed tears, and just because you get scared, and just because you cower and tremble in the corner whenever a black person walks past you, that you're not evil. And people think that being vulnerable means you get a pass, and you don't, you know, people think being vulnerable means that you don't do evil shit, and that's just not the case. I had the windows open. Hopefully the whole village heard that. And hopefully they can make a decision about whether or not they're going to follow on with this ridiculous shit. They can go ahead and make that decision. Because I ain't having my reputation sullied on account of some idiots who don't stop obsessing over me. I won't have it. I will get my part of the story out there. I will. And for the record, I might talk about the fact that I do rituals. I might talk about, like, you know, the occult and stuff like that. But I don't discuss what I do. It's part of the fucking code. I don't discuss what I do. But if there are any speculations about me going around, then I'm definitely going to talk about them, especially if they end up affecting my life and affecting my business. You're not going to affect my business because you can't decide what kind of fucking story you want to tell when it comes to me, and you want to try to weaponize everything to make me look as bad as possible. That's not going to happen. I also forgot to mention that about the radiation, because yesterday I talked about radiation. No, it wasn't yesterday. I think it was a few days ago or a couple of days ago. I talked about the effects on the brain and brain damage, right? Speaking of paranoid schizophrenia, when it comes to damage to the CR1 part of the brain, that's not the only way you can get paranoid schizophrenia, from what I understand. But from what I understand, it originates from damage to the CR1 part of the brain. Now, given that that's actually a very difficult part of the brain to reach, the only conclusion that I can come to is that you can only really induce paranoid schizophrenia through significant head trauma, blunt force head trauma, or you could damage that CR1 part of the brain through constant psychological trauma affecting the hormones in your body, or constant bombardment with DEWs. So it is possible for a targeted individual um, to get hallucinations and things like that. It is possible. That's exactly what makes the whole mental health thing such a minefield. But this is the thing that mental health does. They focus on the symptoms and not the cause, because focusing on the symptoms, it allows them to displace and traffic people easily and legally. It allows them to distribute drugs that pharmaceutical companies are pushing without properly testing them. It allows mental health to do a whole number of things in order to make themselves above the law. And a lot of TIs have experienced this. So yeah, like TIs getting hallucinations and stuff like that, that can absolutely happen. And that is exactly what makes the mental health thing so difficult. It's because V2K can be used at the same time that you're getting the hallucinations. And that's what makes it even more tricky, because you could be getting hallucinations on your own, and then it would be V2K delivering remote hypnosis, or using your name or using a code word to activate a certain reaction in your body. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the paranoid schizophrenia thing is tricky, because the thing is that just the radiation alone has led to an increase in mental health problems, including depression and including psychosis. Sexual aggression, especially in males, has also been noted as well. So that's another thing to consider. So all of these things, they play a big part in the whole overall discussion with regards to how the brain is damaged and how, yeah. So that's what I forgot to bring up in the last video. But yeah, this video is a mess. A mess. So like apparently either I'm rumored to be using my own fucking DNA to attach to people I barely know who are obsessed with me for the rest of my fucking, like, where are you getting this from? Like, what is wrong with you? And how is it even your business what I do in my own bathroom, or what, like, how is it even your business what I do in my own home? And what I do with my own fucking uterus and my own vagina? Like, what does it have to do with you? Nothing. I'm not talking about your fucking uterus. I'm not talking about like the fucking, you know what I mean? I might talk about the kids, but even then, that's only in the context of gang stalking. If gang stalking wasn't an issue, I wouldn't talk about them fucking kids. Because I'm the type of person, I usually try as much as I can to keep kids out of my fucking mouth. But seeing as gang stalking wants to involve them and the parents want to involve them, now they got to be dragged into it. And especially if they're going to go around saying ridiculous shit to each other and around the village. Like, nah. And the whole time I've been sitting here thinking, like just sitting here, trying to process how I feel about the situation. But this ain't my feeling to handle. This ain't my feeling to handle. It really isn't. I'm not the one who loses at the end of this. It's just annoying. God. It's annoying as hell. Like, lack of education, and you're gonna go right, nah, man. No, that's ridiculous. So yeah, hopefully these cunts heard. Make your choice now. You want to put you like, listen, I want everybody to know. They chose the losing fucking side. Because over here is where the truth is. Over here is where ethics are. Over here is where education is. They chose ignorance. Let them stay on that side. Let them stay on that side. In the meantime, I'm gonna get on with my weekly readings because I've got to prepare for the 12th to the 18th. So I'm gonna be doing that, and also I'm gonna start filming. I'm gonna start filming the new moon very soon. I don't know what the new moon is in yet because I haven't done my notes yet, but I'm going to be filming for the new moon very soon, and yeah, that's it. So I've got stuff to do. I will see you guys later. Once again, everything that I've said is based on assumption, but if there's anything that I know about being a TI is that my assumptions are usually right. So anyway, you guys take care. Peace and blessings. Bye-bye.